Here's the exact reason why weight loss clubs don't work. A lot of people say to me that they have been to slimming clubs, weight loss clubs, and they just haven't worked for them for a variety of different reasons. They say things like, I didn't like the food they told me to eat. I found it too complicated. I wasn't taught how to manage my mindset. My target was unrealistic. I wasn't given enough support. I just couldn't stick to the plan. I was too hungry. It didn't allow me to have a social life. I stuck to the plan exactly and I still didn't lose the weight. If you've ever been to a weight loss club and you haven't had success, or maybe you've had success and you've lost some weight, or maybe you've reached your ideal weight, but then you've gained the weight again and now you're blaming the weight loss club. And I totally get it because I have been there myself. I've been to Weight Watchers. I've been to Slimming World. I've been to independent weight loss clubs. I've done every different diet under the sun. I've bought all the books. I've done all the programs. I've literally done it all. And I'm in the same camp as most people. I would get initial success. I would be strict. I would stick to the plan. And maybe I would even reach my goal. Or at the very least, I would get into my healthy weight range. And then at some point, I would stop following the plan and I would gain all the weight back again. But was it really the fault of the plan that you stopped following the plan? And at this point, this is where people might start saying, well, they didn't teach me how to be mentally strong. And that definitely is a massive part of it, because if you're not mentally strong, if you've not got the inner strength in your mind to carry on, especially when you've lost the weight, because when you've lost all the weight, that's actually the hardest time to continue, because that's the time where everybody thinks, great, I've lost all the weight, I can celebrate, I can go and eat all the food, I can drink all the drink. And that's when you gain all the weight back quicker than you could ever imagine. So yes, I totally agree that mindset is the number one factor that has to be there for you to follow any plan, especially when you've had success. That is the crucial time. But to blame the weight loss club, that's not really fair on the weight loss club or the person who created the diet. It's not really their fault that you stopped following their plan. So what is the real problem? Why is it that we can't have long-lasting success, and then why weight loss clubs don't work long-term? And here's the real reason, and this is a mindset shift. The reason why you didn't have long-term success with weight loss clubs is because you gave all your power away. You gave all your power away to the creator of the weight loss club, to the supposed expert who was going to help you, who made all these promises to you. You trusted them 100% with your life, with your health, with your weight, with your appearance. And that is the main problem. It's time to take responsibility for your own health. And that doesn't mean that you don't go to a weight loss club. It doesn't mean that you don't follow a program. It just means that the buck stops with you. It means that if things aren't working, that if the program isn't working, that you find out the reason why. Become a scientist. Look at the data. Is it the program's fault? Or is it that you didn't stick exactly 100% to the program? Be completely honest. Was it that you lost all the weight and then you gave up on the program? Was that the problem? And maybe there is a problem with the actual program. It does happen. Most programs out there are not designed for scientific success. Most programs out there rely on guesswork, and it sounds crazy to me that they would even contemplate this, but most programs say things like, just cut out grains, or just cut out carbs and then the weight will magically disappear. Or just eat from this list of food and you can eat as much as you like and the weight will just drop off and you don't have to do anything else. Just trust me, eat these foods and this is what will happen. And unfortunately, that's not scientific. There is only one way to lose weight on any diet or program, and that is to eat less calories than you burn. You can't calculate this 100% because nobody knows exactly how many calories they burn each day, but most people do similar things every single day. Most people burn the same number of calories every single day. So if your calorie calculator has told you that you need to eat this number of calories and you're eating this number of calories and the weight isn't coming off, you're probably burning less calories than the calculator thinks you're burning. So drop your calories slightly. Don't go crazy. Don't be extreme. Don't drop it massively. Maybe just drop it by a couple of 100 calories per day and then see if you start to get results. If you don't get results, maybe drop your calories a little bit more. Maybe change the types of food you're eating, incorporate more healthy foods and stay at the same calories and see if that makes a difference, because it takes more calories to burn healthier food than it does unhealthier food. You've got to take a step back and think, what is the real reason that you're going to that weight loss club? Is it for the program? Is it only for the program? Or are you getting other things out of it? Are you really there for the social life? And if you are, that's completely fine. But you've got to be honest with yourself for the real reasons that you're going to the club, and stop blaming the program if it's not the program's fault. But if you have educated yourself into how many calories you need per day, and then you run the program through that scientific calculation, you log your calories for the day based on the program that you've been told to eat, and you realize, no, I'm eating way too many calories based on this food that they've told me to eat, then you can just make a decision. You can decide, well, I'm still going to follow the program because I like the food and it's nice and healthy and it fills me up, but I'm just going to eat less of it because the quantity that they've told me to eat is not right for my body and my metabolism, because I'm burning slower calories than they think I am. So I need to eat less of that food. So you don't need to completely throw away the diet or the program that you're on. You just need to be scientific about it. You need to look yourself at the scientific proof as to how you lose weight, which is only based on calories, and you need to log the food you're eating and decide yourself, are you eating too much food? Because most of the time you're just simply eating too much food, and not in quantity, but in calories. I remember the first time I went to Slimming World and they said to me, here's a massive big long list of free food. You can literally eat as much food as you like from this list of food and you will still lose weight. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. And I didn't even look at the sins or anything like that. I just looked at the free food because I'm a big eater. I love to eat my food. And I thought, seriously, I can eat all of this food on this list, all this fruit, all these vegetables, all this protein, potatoes. There were so many filling, lovely, delicious foods on this list. And I thought, well, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to literally eat unlimited foods. So I started having, all my meals were based on free foods, but I would have 2 dinners every day because I thought, finally, I can eat the quantities I want to eat, and somebody's telling me it's going to work, so I'm going to put it to the test, because I love putting things to the test. And I did it for 2 weeks, and I gained lots of weight in those 2 weeks, and they couldn't believe it. They said, we've never had anybody actually gaining so much weight when they first started a diet. And I said, but I've literally taken you to the letter. You've promised me that I can eat as much of this free food as I want to. So I have, because I love eating. And he said, well, maybe you need to cut down a bit. And I thought, well, maybe you need to not tell people that they can eat unlimited quantities, because that's not true, is it? And so I didn't want to do Slimming World for a very long time after that. And then recently, over the last couple of years, I was on another weight loss journey where I was trying to reach the lowest weight that I had ever been, just to see if I could do it. And I'd already lost quite a lot of weight on my own. And I had maybe the last, say, 10 pounds to lose to reach my goal. And I started to feel like I was struggling. And then I asked myself the question, what would really help me right now? What do I need to keep me on track? And the answer was accountability. I really needed somebody to keep me accountable. And I thought, well, 1, I can pay for a weight loss coach, which will be quite expensive. Or 2, I can go and join a club. And I thought, well, I want to make friends anyway, so I'm going to go and join a club. So when I went to have a look and see what clubs were out there, there was only Slimming World clubs. I couldn't find any other weight loss clubs, and there was loads of Slimming World. And I thought, well, I'll go to a Slimming World. Maybe things have changed, maybe they haven't changed, but I don't care, because I'm on my own program. I know what's working for me. I know how to lose the weight, but my mindset needs that accountability. So I'm just going to go for the accountability, and I'm not going to follow the diet. I'm not going to pretend I'm even following the diet. I'm just literally going to get weighed in front of somebody, and that is the only thing that I need. So I went to Slimming World, and it really did motivate me. Every time I was at home on my own, the thought of somebody monitoring my weight that week really motivated me to avoid overeating. It really did work. That accountability worked. And I reached my ideal weight, and I became a target member, so I didn't have to pay anymore. And I kept going as a target member, because that's the time when you're really vulnerable and at risk of gaining all that weight back again if you don't keep your mindset in the right place. So I kept going as a target member for a really long time. And I knew I didn't agree with the program. I didn't argue with them. I didn't publicly voice my dissatisfaction in all this free food list. I just keep my negative thoughts to myself, because I thought, well, that's their program. I don't have to be here. I'm paying to be here. I'm just taking what I need, which is the accountability, and I'm leaving the rest. I'm being responsible. I know how to lose weight. It's only based on calories. It's actually really simple, but I just needed that accountability, and I just really enjoyed the atmosphere and the social life and chatting to people, and I found it fun. So I thought, I don't need to agree with something 100% to get value from it. And there was little nuggets of things that I picked up, little recipes that people would share or ways of preparing food. And I thought, I am actually getting value out of this, even though I don't agree with this free food principle. And I don't want to convert everything to sins just to convert it back to calories again. It just seemed so complicated when it didn't need to be. I just kept it really simple. And then people would comment on me, on my food that I was eating, because a lot of the time I would take my food with me, as a lot of people did, because you weigh yourself and then you don't want to weigh yourself with food in your stomach, so you eat your food after. So I would take like protein porridge with me, or chocolate yogurt, where I would make it myself with cocoa powder mixed with yogurt, or I'd drink my green smoothies, what I call green thickies, and people would make comments on it all the time, and they would say, "Oh, cocoa powder, it's so high in sins. I would never eat cocoa powder." And I think, well, it's quite low in calories. I don't see what the issue is of eating cocoa powder. It's like full of nutrients. It's not got any of the nasties in. It's not high in fat. It's not got sugar added to it like chocolate bars do. So to me, it's a health food and low in calories. I don't see why I wouldn't eat cocoa powder. Or people would ask you, like, how did you do this week? Did you lose weight? And I'd say, oh yeah, maybe I stayed the same, or I just lost maybe half a pound this week. And then they'd look at my smoothie and they'd say, oh, that's the reason why. It's because you're blending up your food. You're not allowed to do that. That's really high in sins. That's why you're not losing the weight fast enough, or that's why you've stayed the same this week. But then I reached my goal, because weight loss is not always, it doesn't always just keep going down, down, down every week. It goes up and down and up and down, especially women. We've got hormones, things shift and change every single week. It doesn't always just go straight down. Some weeks you stay the same. Some weeks you go slightly up. But as long as the general path keeps going down, then you're doing the right thing. So people would tell me all the time, oh, that's the reason why you're not successful. But I was successful. I lost the weight, became a target member, reached my ideal weight, and I was really happy. But when people gave me advice, I didn't say, oh, you're wrong, it's all about calories, because I've come into their world, I've come into their environment, and that's how they do things. And I would just smile and say, oh, thank you, that's really interesting. Yeah, I'll have a think about that. And then I'd think about it and think, no, I'm not giving up that food. It works for me. It's always worked for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. So just remember, when you go to a weight loss club, what is your real reason for being there? Is it to follow the program to the letter of the law and then put all the responsibility and the blame on the instructor? Because if it is, it's time to take the responsibility back and become the weight loss expert yourself, because that is the only way that you're going to be successful, is that if you be a scientist and you analyze your result and you try something different. If it's not working, try something else. Don't give up. Don't blame somebody else. Just do something different. Go to a support group for the accountability. You don't need to follow their advice to the letter. You can disagree. You can be your own person. You don't have to do it publicly. You don't have to start arguments, but just silently disagree in your own mind. It's perfectly fine. And eventually I decided, well, I'm just going to start running my own weight loss club, because I feel like I've got all this knowledge. I've been doing it online for many, many years, over 13 years now. I feel like I know what I'm doing. So now is the time for me to start my own weight loss club. And I just wanted to bring you this message. If you want to join my weight loss club, that you can do your own thing. You can do whatever diet you want. I am not going to force my diet on you. I'm going to make suggestions. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to say it might be better if you ate healthy food for most of the day, but I'm not going to tell you cut out the foods that you love. I'm not going to tell you stop what you're doing. All I'm going to tell you is there's one scientific principle for losing weight, and that is to eat less calories than you burn, and that is it. You can eat whatever you like, but if you feel unhealthy and you're losing weight, then that's your choice. But if you want to feel better and more energized, then you can eat healthier foods. That is completely your choice. My weight loss club is called Shredders Connect, and I do things completely differently. I don't force people to do things that they don't want to do. I don't force people to get weighed. I don't force people to speak in front of the group. I don't publicly shame people. If people want to share, then that is completely their choice. If they want to be held accountable, then I will hold them accountable, but that is their choice. I'm not going to alienate people and have people running out the door because they feel like they're shamed because they've gained 2 pounds in that week. Sometimes you're just not in the right frame of mind yet, because it's all about mindset, but maybe you just need to be in that environment for a little while until you get the right mindset. We all have good times and bad times and struggles in our lives, and sometimes it's just too hard to stick to a program. But if you can keep going and keep getting these messages of motivation and getting the support of a group and getting that accountability if you want it, then eventually you will be in the right place to be successful and to stick to the program. And the program is a program that you design yourself. Yes, I do give programs out. I give away meal plans for those people who don't want to design their own program. But for most people, they will want to eat the foods that they want to eat. And this is what I help people to do, is to take the power back and be the expert themselves. If you want to join Shredders Connect, I would love to see you there. Now it's time to turn struggle into strength.